What's going on, guys? Mr. Jason here again with another movie review for you guys. I know I don't do these too often, but I'm going to try to do movie reviews more often. Mostly for new release movies that I see in theaters. Occasionally some I might see on TV or streaming services. But man, this one here was so awesome. I can't even explain it. Like most of the movie, my heart, my adrenaline, it was racing like crazy. It's still going crazy. That's what it's supposed to do. It's originally the movie was based on racing, so I guess it makes sense, you know? But anyways, I went and saw F9, the Fast Saga, Fast and the Furious 9, whatever they want to call it, I don't know. But I'm going to say F9, the Fast Saga. Movie was so good. All I can start off by saying, I love the franchise. The only ones that I didn't really care for much, obviously, was the second one and third one. But that basically introduced some more characters that was pretty much originals, I guess you can say, even though they weren't originals, but they became originals ever since part 5, 6. I'm not sure exactly when they came about, but I was in high school when the first movie ever came out. I grew an attachment to this franchise. I understand people are going to hate on it because they keep making them. They keep making enough money. They're going to keep making them. If they can create more stories to keep the movie connecting and have it make sense to connect all the movies together, why not? They did it perfect this time. That's what they did with this new movie. I'm just going to give off the review without giving too much of a spoiler. I'm going to spoil a little bit, so we'll get minor spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, I'm sorry. You just might want to click off this video if you don't already. But basically, this movie starts off with Letty, Dom, and Dom's kid at the little, I think it's like a little farm. Not really a farm, but it kind of looks like a barn-type, shed-type area that they're living in ever since the most recent Fast and the Furious, but before this one ended. I guess they kind of wanted to go on their own, and of course the team, partners, whatever you want to call them, just went off doing their own thing. So, you know, Letty, Dom, and Dom's kid are just chilling, doing their thing. And then they see a couple cars racing towards their land. So, of course, Dom, Letty, they tell Little B, as they call him, they tell Little B, you know what to do. He goes and does his hiding routine. And, you know, Dom and Letty, they get their guns ready. Just, who are you? Who's coming on my property here? We're about to have a shootout. It turns out that it's Roman, Tej. I think that's how they say his name. Ludacris's character, Tej, or Tej. I think it's Tej. And Ramsey, they come up telling Dom and Letty that, you know, Mr. Nobody sent out a video to them, just them, only them, because he was on, I guess, a jet plane, and I guess he was basically invaded by, let's say, the new character. I'm just going to say it's the new character and his team, because, you know, we're going to get a little more into that after. So they find out Cypher is involved with, because Mr. Nobody captured Cypher. That's what I want to get to. Mr. Nobody had Cypher captured. And another crew, team, you know, we'll get to that in a minute, went to Mr. Nobody. They kidnapped him, invaded his plane. They were looking for something as well. We'll get more into that in a bit. So they basically took Cypher from them. They took Cypher as their own hostage. And of course, the new character is John Cena's, which is Dom's long-lost brother. So after that first opening segment that I mentioned, Dom at first was hesitant. He's like, we don't do that anymore. Like, not getting involved into crime and all that, heist or whatnot, getting involved to anything, because he's got a kid now. But, you know, he's looking back at the video, and he sees Mr. Nobody in the video, and he sees the person that tackles Mr. Nobody. They're wearing the cross, which is similar to his. So in his mind, he's thinking, that's my brother. And of course, most of you are probably like, me personally, I don't remember Dom's brother ever being mentioned in any of the Fast and the Furious movies. I don't know, maybe I missed it. But with my state of mind with that is, I think what they're doing with this franchise is they kind of create a new story. Just another reason to make more of the movie, knowing that people would go and see it. But when they do that, they do it so well, and it ends up making sense. All the movies somehow connect at some point, and it makes sense. It's like, wow, how did it even happen? But these people, when they're making this series, franchise, they just know what they're doing. They definitely do. I love the franchise. I don't care what anyone says. After you see them all, first time seeing them, maybe it doesn't make sense, but they all connect at some point with the new story that they create. So after that opening segment of F9, Fast 9, whatever you want to call it, it leads to a flashback of Dom, his younger brother, and their father. I'm not going to say much about that scene, but you're going to have a couple flashbacks throughout the movie, basically explaining the story of Dom and his brother and the father. And, you know, I don't want to give too much away. And after all, you know, Dom decides he's going to go and help his team. They're going to go after whoever is going after this. It's this thing called Project Ares. Basically, it's a device that can, you know, control all the weapons, nuclear weapons and all that. So that team, Jacob, is pretty much in charge of that team. And that's introducing Dom's brother, Jacob. He has his own squad. He's trying to stop Dom from getting that device because Mr. Nobody hid it. And they find it. But then pretty much the movie is everybody going after that. I don't want to explain too much. So I'm going to cut the review off there. And all the action sequences were amazing. Of course, some of the stuff is in a way unrealistic, but it's an action movie. It's supposed to be a fun action movie. Just have fun and watch it. It's entertainment. But all the action scenes were intense. My heart was racing. I was getting like, oh, you know how you get that feeling? Like, oh my God, come on, you know? The whole movie had me that way. And right off the bat, there was action at the beginning of the movie pretty much within the first 15 minutes or so. So, damn. They also have a couple cameos in this movie. I'm not going to say specifically who, but at some point, like I said, they're very well at connecting all the stories and all the movies together to pretty much create one whole new story that expands the franchise and the whole story itself. The humor between Roman and Tej, like the humor, action, it's all fantastic. Cast is great as always. I feel like I just grew up with these people because first one came out when I was in high school. I was still young. It's like I grew up watching these people. All I can say is if you are a fan of any of these movies, any of them, if you're a fan of any of them, go see this movie. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. This movie makes it to the top movies of the franchise. I'm gonna give this movie a 8.5 out of 10, which is amazing. But from best to worst, I'm gonna say I understand the original Fast and the Furious is probably most people's choice. It's not mine. I really enjoyed the series more and more when it hit around the fourth movie. It was getting more into just like their personal life, heist and stuff like that. So my favorites are Fast 5, Part 4. Of course, then you got 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to put this one after... That's a tough one. This movie is so good. Honestly, I cannot put these in a certain order. They're all great. I enjoyed them all. But this movie was one of the best, I will say that. And of course, you get the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. And there is a post-credit scene. I'm not going to say anything, so stick around for the post-credit scene. It's not like after the full credits. It's like mid-credit scene, so stay tuned for that. But damn, guys, I recommend go check it out. But that's all I got for this review. I enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know if you already saw it. Well, how you feel about the franchise. I love it. I don't care. I love it. Great movie. I definitely recommend going to see it. If you enjoy any of them, go check this one out. You won't be disappointed. So, guys, that's going to be it for this movie review. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Go check out my other movie reviews, my other videos. I do all kinds of content on here. If you're not subscribed, please do. And if you already are, I appreciate it very much. Man, as you can see, I'm still pumped from that movie. But, guys, thanks for watching. I will catch you all later in the next one.